All right, I know he put out some things on Twitter in particular saying back-to-back top 6 and a heart and a little devil emoji. I guess that means I'm coming back to win it. So I'm excited to see how he performs. I'm pretty sure that he didn't perform the way that he wanted. I know he got knocked out relatively early, whereas Pablo did take a couple steps further. But as you see here, I mean, signing with PSV, that's a big deal too, right, Ryan?
It's a massive accomplishment to sign for PSV, and it was only in September 2020, so it's not even that long ago. But since then, he's come on leaps and bounds. He's currently ranked 7th in Europe, which is incredible. Top 6 in the European qualifier, number 3. So he'll be looking.
Yeah, it's fine. I stole that line from the Colonel anyway, so it's all good. Yeah, this is obviously one of his tweets he's done. He's saying he's starting to feel at home on the broadcast. So he's talking about, you know, players taking that experience from being in the situation before. Clearly, it's worked here for him. Winner bracket round 6. He got that win against FIFA 𝐕𝐸. Lost to Musty 5-8. What a game that looks to be. Musty, obviously, we know is a top competitor this year. No shame in losing to him. Comes through the lower bracket. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿 and 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐵 both fall. I'm looking at these matches, Jim, and I'm looking at the score lines. Lots of goals. This is going to be action-packed, I'm hoping. Lots of entertaining FIFA on display. Currently ranked 15th, lowest ranked in Europe right now of anyone that's playing in this top 6. But he did get to 3rd place on Europe Qualifier 3. We cannot discount that. That's in really, really decent. And that's obviously the most recent qualifier as well. So he's in good form. Top 4 on FIFA 20 in run.
Between Dennis and Pablo, it is Brandon Smith and Richard Buckley, the birthday boy. Guys, take it away.
Thank you. As you can see, 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐬 may be out of position. Kyle Walker's centre-back item comes back into one of those centre-back areas. As we know, by trade, is a full-back. On the flip side, let's have a look at the opposite team. Of course, of Pablo's. Let's have a little look at this one then, Richard. Talk me through it. Break it down. This is the Russians team. He's going for a 𝐜𝐤𝐤𝐬 in at the back on that team. You can see both the players on.
Although, but I'll be very intrigued to see what 𝐸𝐸𝐻 can do in this setting. I might even do it myself on my own account.
I mean, what does it say as well when a player is doing that, in all honesty, Rich? This is a day before this qualifiers kicked off. We are on the way now officially in qualifier number 4 here in Europe, but that says a lot. He's putting a lot of confidence back into that 𝐿𝐴𝐚𝐽𝐻 midfielder.
No, absolutely. It'll be one of those positions where he might have been playing a player out of sort of his standard role. He might have... I don't seem to recall Zidane being in the team last time either, so it's certainly a strong physical centre midfielder that you can bring into that. You see him already getting involved, and it looks like he might even be playing a little bit further back. I think he is in a centre mid role actually, 𝐸𝐸𝐻, but it's a very physical midfield.
It could have been the early goal in that one. It will be PSV Dennis kicking from left to right in this first leg. KFC Pablo from right to left. 2 legs of action in front of us. An aggregate scoreline will be the difference to see who stays in this tournament and who gets knocked out. This is elimination fee for both of these two. Have already lost games in this tournament. The guys at the virtual desk said it earlier. It was a 3rd place finish for Pablo. He came unstuck against 𝐸𝐿𝐴𝐚𝐽𝐻 just 4 weeks ago, back in qualifier number 3, but somehow still a free agent is the Russian FIFA player as he comes forward for his first attack of this game. His own spice of his Bundesliga. That man on the pitch as well, the French midfielder from 𝐿𝐴𝐚𝐽𝐻. Can he feed the ball into Mbappe? Yes, he can. 𝐜𝐤𝐤𝐻 looks for the card back. He was full of skills last month, just in February, and once again he's full of skills. Just 4 weeks on. Lovely little 𝐴𝐴 into the shop. That's for Ronaldo in the air. Van der Sar has no other option, just to try and head that one away, and eventually it will be dealt with.
You saw the skill moves in the final third as well. Just sort of warming up. 𝐸𝐴𝐻, reverse elastico, followed by the elastico. Sort of a risky shot, in all honesty. Not really the highest chance of success on that angle with Mbappe, but anything's possible when you've got the team of the year FUT item.
Dennis will be thinking, please not another penalty shootout this time. That's how he went out last time against Dani Visser. You heard Ryan Pessoa say about that move to PSV. It's been one hell of a move for Dennis. He signed for the club back in September 2020. He's played in the 𝐬𝐸𝐵𝐲 winter season this year on FIFA 21. They had a fantastic run. It was a top 3 finish for PSV. Him and his teammate 𝐜𝐤𝐤𝐬. Unfortunately coming unstuck against Ajax in that. Here's Mbappe. Nice little composure touch. Goes through the legs of 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿. He had no idea about that one. expect that from Pablo. What a ball that could be. It's R9, surely. Chance for Dennis. Ball roll, goes for the cutback. Comes a little bit unstuck in the box, and somehow Pablo survives that.
Klosterman with an outstanding tackle, getting back, narrowing down the angle. He went for the little ball roll and then pass to the side to play in CR7 for the 100% goal. Klosterman showing that turner pace, getting back and saving Pablo. End-to-end game, as all the pundits were saying.
Chance, Ronaldo. Look for that cutback into Mbappe. This is Pablo. End-to-end, as you said. 2 legs of it coming your way as well, so strap yourselves in. This is only the first game of the day here on the Xbox. If you're unaware of how these qualifiers work, Saturday today will be the Xbox. We'll find an Xbox winner for the 4th time in the FIFA 21 season, and tomorrow we'll go to the PlayStation, where the top 6 competitors will compete there. Could be a through ball. Mbappe, acres of space, cheeky chip, heel to heel. It's under the goalkeeper, and it will be KFC Pablo. 29 minutes in, getting us underway.
He's just very direct, is Pablo, as well. It was 3 passes straight down the centre of the pitch. There was no reluctancy to let Mbappe run in behind. As soon as he saw him making that run off the defender, he just played it. And he did that a lot in the last qualifier as well. As soon as he gets it in the centre mid spots, he's looking for those runs from his attacking players, from his strikers, and he's more than happy to play 5 failed passes if that next one is a successful pass.
And he picked up 800 Global Series ranking points back in February, alongside $7,000 for that run that he had in this tournament. As I said, lost to 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿𝐤. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿𝐤 played Musti in qualifier 3 finals. As you can probably guess on the Xbox, it's been the story of the Germans so far. 3 tournaments, 3 German winners. 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿𝐤, lefty, and as we know, Musti, who's in this tournament. And for the first ever time, 7 out of the 8 players have all played in a broadcast before, which says a lot for Europe, because out of all the regions across this sort of newly designed Global Series season, you'd go out, obviously, because there's no doubt the most players there signing up to these tournaments on the Xbox and the PlayStation. It's a bit of a rarity, Richard, to see repeat qualifiers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, when you consider 3 out of the 6 in this qualifier played in qualifier number 3, and 5 out of the 6 have played in multiple qualifiers across the year. Only 1 new player to this scenario, and that is Predator FIFA. It is very, very impressive that in such an inconsistent region, we're seeing such consistency from these competitors.
Oh, absolutely remarkable. Dennis knocking on the door. Currently 1-0 down. Here's Cristiano Ronaldo now trying to buy his way back into the game. Neymar. Again, it just looks a little bit messy in the final third. He's great at getting into the box, Dennis, but it's just right in sort of those final pieces of the puzzle together. The combinations have been off at times. That goal that should have gone in from R9. He had loads of space. Tries to ball roll around the goalkeeper. It delayed it well enough, so Klosterman was able to get back. Bruno Fernandes into CR7 now. Tries to 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿𝐤 his way into the box. Punches that into R9. That's clever! And it's Bruno Fernandes still run away in celebration. He's been building into this. And PSV Dennis will find that back of the net to make it 1-1 on the stroke of half-time.
That's all come from KFC Pablo. Ryan Pessoa spoke about it in the preview. Just being a little bit too aggressive with his centre-backs. He was pulling 𝐴𝐾𝐺 really sort of out of that back 4 that he's in. Pressing the ball. As soon as 𝐴𝐾𝐺 steps out, if you're that deep already, it means that you don't have a player to fill in that hole. It looked like he was onside, but a perfectly timed, just a little pass into his feet to set Dennis up. Late goal on the end of the first half, and that will tie us up at 1 apiece in leg number 1 of our losers bracket quarter-final.
I mean, it's certainly not been a quiet 45 minutes. There's been chances at either end between the two of them. As you said, Pablo so direct when he goes forward. On the flip side, Dennis having a lot of the ball, getting into the right areas. It's just been that final pass, that final skill move, as we just saw there, the final finish that he has been waiting for, that perfect chance. Bruno Fernandes never missing from there. 1-1 the scoreline in our first loser quarter-final of the day here in Europe, and certainly a brilliant start to this game.
When you talk about the actual end-to-end nature of it, the ideal game to get you underway before the games might tighten up a little bit and you start to see the increase in not only Global Series ranking points but money as well. Typically the games will sort of become a little bit more tentative and mistakes might separate matches, whereas right here we're seeing two players just go at it.
Yeah, well, they just about missed each other in qualifier number 3. They were both in the loser quarter-final, just on different sides of the bracket. KFC Pablo won his game 5-2 against Mark Marley. That was, as we know, Pablo's first ever broadcast, first ever live event. And he came in flying, beat Mark Marley 5-2, then beat Danny Vizza, the player that knocked out Dennis 4-3. You saw him speaking about that game in his masterclass before we jumped into this game, speaking in depth about the skill moves. Was it the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 goal? Oh, you were commentating on it, Richard. It certainly took your breath away.
Yeah, that reverse 𝐿𝐴STICO, an exquisite piece of skill. As you see the player lock trying to get that cross whipped into the box. Something that I don't think we've commented enough on in this qualifier, sort of specifically, Brandon. Dennis has lost one game, that's why he's in the losers bracket. But he only lost to Dull and Mike, and he only lost 2-1. So a very tight margin that sent him down into this losers bracket. He didn't have to play any games in the losers bracket because of his position in the winners bracket when he came down. Chance, ooh, just wide of the post from 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 Lozano. But he's only just in the losers bracket. It's not like he's had a huge run. It's not like he's had to constantly win games. He was playing great FIFA.
Well, he certainly was. I mean, you look at the run that he had in the bracket, Richard, as you said, an unbelievable run. He was able to beat, I think it's 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 of Denmark, 6-5. That one was more of an even tighter game. As you said, played Dull and Mike in the semi-finals of the winners bracket. Him dropping down to this stage meant that he didn't have to fight his way through the losers bracket anymore. On the flip side, for Pablo, he came unstuck against last month's champion in Mushti, 8-4. In the quarterfinals of the winners bracket. He jumped down into the loser bracket where he had to win a game. And he beat the fellow Israeli, 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿 4-3. Chance for Dennis! He's not missing that time, is R9.
It's all about the switch of play. Saw 𝐿𝐴 Lozano out wide on the far hand side of the pitch. Pinged it across to him. Little pass onto the edge of the box, waited for the run of R9, just slid it into his path. And on that occasion, R9, ruthless as ever, to fire Dennis into a 2-1 lead.
Sort of flipped the script, isn't it? It was 1-0 to Pablo. And after such a good start, Dennis now able just to grab this game by the scruff of its neck. As you know, all games are played over 2 legs, and as we know very well, Richard, the second leg can be so different. Van der Sar off his line, able just to snatch that one off the feet of Mbappe. Certainly, though, will fulfill Dennis with some confidence here to be going up 2-1. Can't forget that R9 that's in his team. Lozano, acres of space. Watch R9 at the back post with the player lock. It goes into the air to R9. All on his own. He needed no one else.
It's a technique that I've been talking about for probably 2 or 3 months now. Resende in South America, we've watched a lot of his games, has been doing that exact technique so much. You play a lock, you make your run to the back post. If the cross is good and it's floated into the back post, the goalkeeper typically won't come for it, meaning that you've got pretty much a free header if the attacking player can get above the defender. R9, CR7, anyone who's a good physical presence in the air, play a lock, pull him to the back post and just float it in there.
I'll be honest, I don't think I was the only one. I thought there was potentially going to be a ball back into the box to Bellet. I think it may have been Ronaldo that was in the box. CR7 I'm alluding to. R9 on his own. What a header towards the back post. I mean, that's where you put your coins. Look across the board on the restrictions. With the current restrictions, you only allow 1 icon and 1 team of the year, or 2 icons or 2 team of the years. You can't have, of course, more than 2 of each. Chance back inside Neymar. Back to CR7, tries to directional nutmeg his way around the corner. This will certainly give Dennis some lead, though. He leads by 2 goals, technically. first leg here. It's quite on and often sometimes you get to see R9 in teams. One, because he costs so much, and two, with the current restrictions, it depends where you want to sort of take your hit. Do you go for 2 Team of the Years, or do you take an icon?
He also...
Davies now looks like he's accustomed himself into a midfield role. Sorry, Richard, it is Mbappe. That'll do us.
You mentioned the coins as well. When R9 is sort of at the real top end on the transfer market, you can get probably a better centre mid icon, or maybe a better Team of the Year CR7 and a Team of the Year Mbappe. Got to consider what helps your team the best.
Oh, Ronaldo. Surely. It might be fortunate, but PSV Dennis is having an absolute dream in leg one here. He's 1-0 down, he's 4-1 up.
I actually thought he was offside. I'll be honest with you, when that ball got played into CR7, looked like he was just the other side of the defender, timed his run perfectly. The ball again slid into him. Very fortunate for it to bounce back off the post. But PSV Dennis putting Pablo to the sword right now.
The highest ranked Dutch FIFA player at this moment in time in the Global Series ranking. 7th he sits. Back-to-back broadcast. You talk about consistency. Both of these two, I should say 5 out of the 6 competitors, have all made it back-to-back broadcasts, or at least played in 2 qualifiers this year. Yes, there's still a second leg to play, but what this does for the complexion of the game, Richard, is huge. It's a 3-goal cushion that could maybe be turned into a 4.
If he was to get that 4-goal cushion, Brandon, you have to say, going into the second leg, it's just too big of a hurdle to overcome for KFC Pablo.
Definitely. I mean, we talk about players coming from, behind 1 or 2 goals, but 3, 4 goals, it becomes a mountain. Added time of just a minute now, last chance of the game will fall to PSV Dennis. R9, that could have been the chance to send the game to bed. Neuer, get that clear, and there you go. That is leg 1 concluded in our loser quarter final. There's still a second leg to come up in this game, but he must be full of confidence right now.
He'll probably feel a little bit annoyed that he didn't get a 5th goal there. That little chance with R9 is usually so clinical inside the final third. PSV Dennis leading 4-1, Brandon, at half-time.
Yeah, we are going to go to a quick break now. When we return, it will be time for that. So you're not into your FIFA and you fancy someone else. The Apex Legends Global Series Winter Circuit. The online tournament playoffs kick off in North America on the 27th of March at 12 PM Pacific time. And of course, the European, Middle East and Asia on March the 28th. You can catch it all over on YouTube and on Twitch. We're back on the way for the second leg of the action. Richard, how does Pablo come into this one? He's 4-1 down. Surely with a different game plan.
Yeah, you'd have to think so. Just attack the game. It's one of those scorelines, 4-1. It's not necessarily an impossible task, but you've also got to change your tactics, because you can't just expect something to happen without making a positive change.
Of course, will be Dennis from right to left in that PSV strip. KFC Pablo from left to right. The roles could reverse. They're both competing in qualifier number 3. Whether it was Pablo that got knocked out at this very... Sorry, it was Dennis that got knocked out at this very stage. On the flip side, it's Pablo that made a top 3 finish. Could be a chance to put the game to bed. If R9 put that in, he would be thinking that is game, set, and match.
Great save by Manuel Neuer from close range. Reaction save from 𝐥𝐤𝐤, one of the greatest goalkeepers to ever put the gloves on. But this end-to-end sort of format, this end-to-end game style doesn't really suit Pablo. He has to get hold of this game and dominate it. He can't continue to let Dennis counter-attack.
He just can't concede. If he concedes, that's a 4-goal deficit that he's going to have to go and chase. Chance for Pablo. 𝐦𝐤𝐬𝐫𝐞, future star item, once again heavily involved into Mbappe. Can he maybe squeeze it? Does well there. That's a clever goal from Pablo. The heel-to-heel was perfect, and Mbappe squeezing it into the near post.
Almost getting deja vu, the goal that he scored in the first leg, exactly the same. Through ball, heel-to-heel with Mbappe, and then just slotted in, whether it be at the near post or under the goalkeeper. 4-2 now. You can see at the top of your screen, 4-2. That is a goal back in the favour of Pablo, and it was huge that he scored the next goal. If it was Dennis that scored it, as we said, it would have become an absolute mountain to climb. How will Dennis respond now? His R9 has been so influential for him in the final third. Mix him well with the Brazilian in Neymar. Might have been a red pig Neymar. Curtis Jones, nice directional nutmeg. Cheeky from R9. I mean, that was very uncharacteristic there. I don't think anyone expected that. Tried to flick it up, and I don't know what he was looking for. Don't think he intended to do that, I'll be honest with you. It went for like an Okocha flick in the end. I imagine it was probably a La Croqueta that he was aiming to pull off in the box there. Opportunity squandered though for Dennis. And Pablo will come again, trying to narrow this scoreline even further. Chance, Ronaldo back to goal. CR7 in a guessing game. Still, CR7! Great save, Van der Sar goes for a corner. High on the pressure is Pablo. Liking another great chance. Plays this one deep into the box. It's punched away by Edwin van der Sar, does well to rise above the rest. Back to the Swede in 𝐦𝐤𝐬𝐫𝐞, back to the Swede again. He interchanges well, goes the wrong way that time. I think he was trying to find Ronaldo or see then Mbappe or someone to try and peel off and make a run. Just wasn't on in the end. That could be a mistake. That one could be a mistake he doesn't get paid for, he will. The mistake that he would be punished for, I should have said. Marcus Rashford was quickest to react. He driven and just drove into the space, cut back for a very ambitious finesse shot. But this is Marcus Rashford we're talking about. So deadly in those areas. And he's back to square one. The KFC Pablo. Glorious from PSV, Dennis, right there. Stole the ball off of Zidane. Originally, I thought Rashford was going to win the running race against the French icon. He read the mind of Pablo, stole the ball back. La Croqueta cancel, just created that tiny bit of space on the edge of the box, and then just delicately tucked it in the bottom left corner, out the reach of the goalkeeper. And that shows the confidence that Dennis is playing with right now, to take the finesse shot on from range, to do the skill move. So Pablo going for that directional nutmeg around the corner. With Neymar, wins a free kick for his efforts, 22 metres out here. He's going to look to go for a direct shot. Ronaldo's hovering over the ball. He's CR7 looking to go for that directional shot. That goal is tipped away by Edwin van der Sar. And in for a corner. Watch how Ronaldo's going to be manually controlled now. Peeled away. Can he win it in the air? He can. And quite a routine day in the end for van der Sar. That mistake for that fifth goal that Dennis has scored, the mistake by Pablo, it will hurt. Because he was getting back into the game. He was creating chances. He was building his self-esteem back up. Getting the momentum rolling. And to throw it all away, and knowing that you made that mistake to give your opponent another goal, that will hurt deep down. I think any FIFA player knows it as well. It's just such a difference in mindset from being 2-0 down to your opponent and 3-0 down, especially as Pablo did score that goal. We'd had some sort of mental momentum working in his favour where we'd be like, I can create chances, I've done well, I made that chance with Ronaldo as well straight after, and then as you said, one simple mistake. Rashford pickpocketed the defender, cut back inside. It was a very, very good finish in the end, a finesse shot from the edge of the box. And about 2 minutes left of this first half in the second leg. At the moment, Dennis still in control. 5-2, he does lead. Remember, loser gets knocked out of the tournament. It'll be a top 6 finish
for one of these two. And they'll be to look forward to our next game, which is 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐫 of Israel up against Musti. Last month's champion finds himself in the loser bracket. Ronaldo into Zidane. Pablo, you need to score this. Zidane, brilliant block from 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐫.
Patience, defense, right there. They often say patience is a virtue. He just backs off. He wanted Zidane to take the shot. He marked the passing options. He marked the near post shot, which was probably the best possible chance of scoring. Did very well just to make sure he had enough space between ball and man. And then 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐫 just doing what he does. There's a reason that he's pretty much in every single team. He's quick enough to get back, and he's strong enough defensively and physically to be, you would argue, the best centre-back in FIFA right now. Outside of probably...
He came into...
outside of probably moments Maldini? Genuinely, probably the best CB, Brandon.
Oh, I was going to say, Richard, apologies there. Just that he's obviously come into the game via that Future Star promo, and she's been so well accepted by pros, isn't it? It's a case of when one or two players started using him, everyone was using him. And again, you can't forget, he is a fullback by trade. Players are playing him out of position in a centre-back role because, you know, as many other players that we've seen in this game, they believe he can do a great job there. And at the moment, he has not looked out of place at all across the last month or so since he's been in the game.
Not only do they believe he can do a job there, but it's sort of statistically proven that he can do a job as well. It spread like wildfire that he was one of the best CBs, and you get the chemistry to Kyle Walker as well.
Obviously that Kyle Walker informed centre-back item. He has not moved an inch since he picked up that Team of the Week. A firm part of every pros team, and again, I think, as you said, this is their own account, so it's within your own coin budget to go and build your team within the squad restrictions. And he's a player that, of course, is very expensive still, but he certainly slots inside that back line perfectly. We're back on the way for the second half here. You have just tuned in. This is our loser call to follow our first game of the day here in our FIFA 21 Global Series European qualifier number 4. We've only got one more qualifier next month, and then it will be all eyes on the playoffs if it isn't already. Chance for Zidane. This is Pablo. Still can't find a way past this defence that has been sort of glued together. Adama Traore, 𝐦𝐨𝐬𝐫, part of that as well. Kyle Walker, and then 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞. Davies finding himself in a very comfortable.
That last attack just there from Pablo, the shot on the edge of the box with Zidane, I think it just goes to show that maybe running out of ideas a little bit, hoping rather than creating chances.
Davies plays a midfielder for both of the players. Team of the year item certainly normally can do a job there. Chances. 𝐬𝐸𝐵 into the box. Again, it was ambitious there. I mean, 3-0 Richard. Down technically, 30 minutes left to play. And with PSV, Dennis on top. He just looks to be running away with this one. Davies. One more goal would certainly seal the result. Signed, sealed and delivered. This could be Cristiano Ronaldo. Can he get the ball into R9? Looks for the cut back. Where's that through ball going to end up? Bruno Fernandes this time. That's 5 more minutes taken out of the tie. Only 25 minutes left. If there's any chance of the Russian to stay in the competition, or will it be a top 6 finish? Which still, of course, you can't. Tony knows up at that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Over 500 competitors signed up just for this Xbox event. The top 6 finish is still absolutely remarkable.
Oh, it really is. But when you consider what he did last time out, Brandon, and the confidence that he would have been coming into this event with, who would have expected to get past Dennis? I think that sort of image you see on the screen right there, him scratching his head, that's what he has been doing, because these chances that he's been looking to create haven't been hitted at the consistency that they did in the last event. Are people starting to work him out? I saw him in that first leg go for a little chipped ball over the top like he talked about in the masterclass. That didn't work. Dennis had dropped off. He sort of tracked the runner, meaning that ball that he played over the top wasn't on. The chances that he's been looking to create, those deep through balls from the midfield, haven't really been hitting with the success that they were in the previous qualifier.
As I said, the roles have sort of reversed. I think on the flip side for that, you've got Dennis, who did lose in this exact position just 4 weeks ago in qualifier number 3. He also gets himself back into a top 6. This time, wants to ensure he gets even further. All eyes on the prize via that loser bracket run that he wants to create for himself. He will be playing 𝐷𝐸𝐴𝐻 on 𝐸𝐸𝐷𝐸 in the loser semi-final. If he can hold on to this result, which he seems like he is going to do at the moment, he's got 18 minutes to hold on to a 3-goal scoreline. And again, you put it all down to that first leg. Was able to run away with it, able to run away with it now. Stay cool, stay composed. Run around the goalkeeper, surely. Ronaldo, there you go. And we can say, congratulations, PSV Dennis. You will be moving into that loser semi-final where you'll play 𝐸𝐸𝐷𝐸 or 𝐸𝐸𝐴𝐻.
Again, everything that sort of PSV Dennis has done in the attacking third, whether it's not worked the first time of asking, it's definitely worked the second time. He's got a couple of rebounds, things just going in his favour. But the first leg performance let him have that sort of, you'd say, off leg, that off game in the second match because of the lead that he'd already amounted. You don't have to play perfect for 2 legs of FIFA if you've got a lead, if you've got a comfortable sort of backrest that you can fall back onto.
I think it's all smiles for him. 7th he came into this tournament, the highest ranked Dutch FIFA player on the Xbox. We know he's already going to be at the playoffs for him. It's about getting himself amongst the big names, the top 3. I should say the German names. As we know on the Xbox, he's been 3 Germans. The one qualifier number 1, it was Lefty back in December. Of course, saw 𝐷𝐸𝐴𝐻 win January's tournament, qualifier number 2. And just 4 weeks ago, it was 𝐸𝐸𝐷𝐸. It will be in action in our next game this evening. He's in the loser bracket. Up against 𝐸𝐴𝐻, who also suffered a huge defeat in a grand final to a fellow German. So looking to get his revenge maybe on 𝐷𝐸𝐴𝐻 if he can make a run in the tournament. Unfortunately, it won't be the same sort of story for KFC Pablo this time out in qualifier number 4. It was a top 3 finish. Losing to the hands of 𝐦𝐤𝐤𝐿𝐼. This time out, it's going to be a top 6 finish, which again is still absolutely remarkable. But as you said, Rich, you just would have been disappointed that he's not been able to sort of repeat and showcase that same sort of quality that we saw back in February.
And really, you ask, why is that? Why hasn't he? Well, the opportunities that he's been looking to create in the final third, especially when he's been in trailing positions, have seemed a little bit rushed. They've seemed a little bit frantic. Chance here for Dennis to make it 7. The rebound's going to fall to Neymar. But just to continue what I was saying there, defensively, this aggressive style that he's been looking to implement just hasn't worked for him. And when he's been pulling players out of position, instead of winning the ball back, there's been huge gaps that Dennis has been able to exploit. And that is the reason that he ran away with that game so comfortably.
Yeah, job done for the Dutchman. Books himself a place within the top 4 at least. He moves into the semi-finals on the loser bracket now. No penalty shootouts needed this time round, Rich, as you said. After a very disappointing time last month, 4 weeks ago. It was a penalty in the global series so far. Does fall at a top 6 finish in qualifier number 4. But this time, we didn't need penalty shootout. It was a bit more of an easier ride for PSV Dennis. He moves in to the top 4.
And maybe he heard my first prediction where I said whoever scored first was going to go on to win. I think I jinxed Pablo. I apologize for that publicly. Pablo, let's take a look now at the brackets to see where everything stands. And you can see there that Dennis is doing the job. Moving on. He didn't get this far last time around in qualifier number 3, so good for him to take that one step further. Spencer, I'm going to come to you first.